Hello and welcome to the McSherryStudio. I'm Kevin McSherry. Some of you will have arrived here from my website where you've downloaded already a kind of a template for making a viewfinder, and some of you will have come in off the web, in which case you're very welcome. You're all very welcome, and you can get a link where to find the template for this viewfinder I'm going to make in the description below. And if you wouldn't mind, you can subscribe to it. It helps with the Google and YouTube algorithms. Well, I suppose the first explanation of how you might use a viewfinder. So this is the one that I already have. This is the one that I bring around with me when I'm painting landscapes outside, and sometimes when I'm doing a composition in my studio. And it's basically like that, and it's a way of, you can just see, of finding your composition. So if you're looking at my head through that, you see there, you get you can determine from this like which aspect ratio you might want, and this one wouldn't be correct for a square, would it, if you're going to do a portrait? But you might do it with you would do it with a rectangle there. You see? So it's just a way of determining your composition, and it works best, outside when you've got the whole world out in front of you, but you don't know where to paint first. Well, you can sort of determine that just by using this thing. And also, if you want to paint a letterbox shape, you just fold that down, and you might want to do a long, wide en plein air painting, and that will help you. So it's a useful thing to have in your painting kit. And so we're going to make one. So let's launch into this, put that to one side, and then we change views. Okay, all right, so here we are. So just a word about the materials first of all. Well, you can make them out of, and I suppose it's best, the one that I'm using is made out of, is this backing board. You can buy that in, I think, in most art shops. It's the kind of stuff that you put on the back of a photo frame, things like that. You often find them there. So it's about 2 millimeters thick. It's reasonably robust. It's between cardboard and hardboard, I suppose. So it's easy to cut, but it's quite tough. So for this demonstration, I think I'm going to use this, which is mounting board. Okay, which is this is less thick. It's just over 1 millimeter thick, and it's just wide enough to fit my template. So that's what I'm going to cut now. It's also, there's more contrast for me to show it on the video. But you can make a perfectly adequate one. It mightn't last as long with this stuff as it would with the backing board. Okay, so if you've come from my website, you will already have downloaded the template. Okay, so you can get that. It's a PDF. You can download it for free for subscribing to my newsletter. You can get this for free if you've arrived here from the rest of the world. So it comes in 2 pages as a PDF. So there's instructions and the template itself. Okay, so you can away and get that. There's a link in the description below too. Okay, and this is I've just found a bit of mounting board which is just about wide enough for me to cut this. Yeah, just about got the width in it, which is great. Okay, so the other materials you will need are a straight edge. This is a bit of old aluminium window frame that I've had for years. It just provides me with a decent sort of grip, because what you don't want is if you're sort of cutting along a line for the blade to ride up onto your fingers. I've done it many times before in my life, which isn't pleasant. So that's got a good straight edge for me, and it's nice and solid. You can also use a ruler. Just be careful of your fingers, okay, when you're cutting there. So those 2 things. You'll need, I suppose they call them box cutters, don't they? I call them Stanley knives. So, but a very sharp blade, which is sturdy. It's nice and robust. It's not going to sort of break on you or split, or if you can put undue pressure, you're in danger of a bit flying off, I think. So one of those box cutter blades with a new blade into it. Okay, you'll need some class of a pen or a pencil. What else? Oh yes, okay, you'll need duct tape. There's a brand called duct tape as well, which is the same thing, but that's just a brand. This is duct tape. You can get it anywhere. And it's good sort of adhesive qualities. It'll stay stuck down for a lot longer than, for example, sellotape or masking tape or whatever. It's also reinforced with fabric, so it'll make for a better adhesion and life of the hinge that you've got to make. So there's that, and what else? Maybe a little bit. Let me just come over here and grab. If you have a bit of sellotape, most people have a bit of sellotape at home, so just a bit of sellotape. And all we're going to do with that is stick the template down when we start to cut. Now, there's many ways you can do this. Let me explain the template for a start. So this is the entire length, and then that dotted line here is a fold, and that dotted line there is a fold. Okay. So all the other measurements are marked on it. These are windows, so they've just got to be cut. And I think that the best way of doing this is to actually cut these first. So let's cut the whole thing down with a good sharp blade. So as in, cut the thing into its shape. I'll show you why in a second. Cut that back down. Just a bit of judicious cutting at the beginning. I think it will save a lot of work. Okay. I've done that bit. I'll throw that in the bin. And now I'm going to cut out the windows too. Don't be too pernickety about how accurate you cut, because this is not you're not doing engineering here, and when you're using it in the field, you don't need that kind of degree of accuracy. It's nice to have a good cut, but wouldn't worry too much about accuracy. There's a heavy black line there that you can paint it, which is enough. So this, I can cut this one across there and there at the same time. I mean, if you had a really sharp scalpel or something, you could do that first bit with that. I'll cut these. Cut here. Cut that out. Oh. You always forget one of these things when you're doing it. Well, I do anyway. One's gone. The other one's gone, but that's it. So that is your template there. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll just sort of attach this. I've just got enough room. It's just big enough. Am I lucky? Okay, so I've got to tape this down. 2 little bits of tape, 2 small bits of tape you can see there, maybe one there and one there. Okay, so now what we can do is we can just, maybe I'll use the biro because the biro's got a nice sharp point in it. I'm going to very carefully just mark the corners using the template as a kind of a ruler. Just mark the corners. I've left myself very little room there, but there. Alright, so we've got all 4 corners marked, and now the inside corners of the windows. Okay. As I say, this is not sort of science that we're dealing with. Okay, now don't forget to mark the folds. There, the folds marked there, and that should be everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. Then we can take the thing off Okay. And then we can mark in. Let's do the rounds first. One there. See how close to the edge I got there? Let's have a look. There. Mark that off. And get this one. Yeah. Mark the folds. Definitely mark the folds because you can forget them. Hang on, move that back a bit. One fold. Two folds. And now the actual windows themselves. This way you don't need to go into sort of all measuring. Okay, so there, it's all marked up. Now we can start cutting. Just be careful of your fingers with this. I would say don't try this at home, but you've got to try it at home, haven't you? I always cut sort of gently, and you can go across it many times. So it's not. If you cut sort of too deeply and try and drag it across there, that's when the accidents happen. So just sort of light cuts and just repeat them. I find. So if you made a mistake, you can always download a new PDF and or email me and I'll send it to you. Now that's a fold there. I was nearly being a silly boy. Let's push this across here like that. And now having one of these kind of beats just cutting a hole in a bit of cornflakes packet, because at least you've got the option of 3 different views. Now there are many different sort of sizes and aspect ratios in canvases, so you can't, well, it's difficult to cover them all with a viewfinder, but this will give you an idea when you're off on a painting project of how your composition could look. Now I'm going to cut the windows. Just be a bit more careful here because it's harder to see. 1, 2, 3, and I'm through. Again here. Of course, using a viewfinder it's always a bit of a problem. So you've still got to do the painting and do the composition, but it's a help to have one. There. I'm through. See the top of my balding head? It's a treat for you. There you go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. And the last one, let's see if they come out. No. If I just give them a light cut. Oh, yeah, it's starting to come out now. It's good. Was that done at all? I missed one. Okay. Ah, good. Did I miss one here as well? No, did them all. That's it. Okay, so now we've got it to that stage, and now all we have to do is either score. I think I will score it actually, just with the knife, just so that we can fold it. Okay, and this one too. Let's fold it. Okay, and let's fold that one. Okay, and that's essentially it. Okay, so let me just fold it there. So there's your letterbox shape. There's a square. You can bring the square down here, it doesn't matter, make any difference. So you've got your square, your rectangle, and your letterbox shape. There. Now, at this stage, especially with this stuff, I would put on a bit of varnish. You can put some acrylic varnish on. This kind of stuff that you would use on your paintings, on your acrylics paintings now. I wouldn't use the oils type varnish. Maybe that would work, but I don't know. So, but varnishing, especially this, would protect it, especially from water. If you could be painting outside, you could very easily be rained on, and you don't want anything turning to mush. Okay, so the last thing I do is I fortify the hinges with some masking tape, or sorry, some duct tape. And you'll probably come up with your own sort of ideas as well. This is what I do. And just means I'm going to have to cut out that bit of tape as well. And the last one. There you go. So that lasts a lot longer with the duct tape. You can actually sort of cut those completely through and duct tape both sides. That would work very well as well, because you get a freer kind of hinge. But I mean, that will do you for a whole season of painting, probably longer if it didn't get wet. And that's how I made one of these. So can you see me? Yes, that's it. That's my Acme Viewfinder. Nice to see you. So I hope you enjoy your painting, and maybe I'll see you at one of my painting workshops or classes in Dublin or around Ireland, or beyond perhaps. Happy painting. Bye.